Okay, welcome to the Tech Entrepreneurs Nebraska podcast. I'm Shonna Dorsey with the Exarban Foundation, and today I'm here with
Diana Tedrow,
Awesome.
Learning and Development with Cox Business.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. So, Diana, I've known of you for years and years and years, and so we had the pleasure of crossing paths during the inaugural Nebraska Women in Tech Summit at Kiewit La Vista this year. And can you just tell us a little bit? I know I kind of jumped a little bit. Let me back up. So first, tell us how you got into learning and development at Cox, and then we'll get to the summit and what's going on today.
Well, what's interesting is I always was going to be a teacher. I went to college to be a teacher, and I went into training, and my career zigged and zagged, and I ended up in sales and sales leadership. And what brought me to Omaha was a sales director position for Cox Business. And I had a wonderful mentor who was talking to me and said, you know, Diana, what are you doing when you are in flow and engaged and passionate? And I said, I love developing people and unleashing potential. And he said, is it possible you're in the wrong seat? And so one of the things I've always told mentor or mentees of mine is lean into yes. So when someone brings stretch assignments or opportunities, even if it's more work, lean into it. And through a stretch assignment, I was introduced to my future boss, who was looking at restructuring the learning and development department. And I received the opportunity to lead the learning and development for a $3.5 billion company of Cox Business. So that's how I got here.
Awesome. And so you've been at Cox for how long now?
13 years this month.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great. So exciting career. And I know we have a quick 10 minutes, but it's interesting, like, we can fill in the space. So let's talk about your presentation. Like I mentioned, we also reconnected at the Women in Tech Summit this year, and your topic was on leadership. If I remember correctly, it seems like a year ago, even though it was just a few months ago. But talk to us about that topic and why it was meaningful to you and all of those things.
I was just excited to be asked to speak because being a female in technology, and it's been 30 years, there's been many times where, and I think I said it in the talk, where I've been the only female leader in the room. And I just feel it's so important that we bring people along, that we create a space for women to thrive, that we encourage women to not worry about imposter syndrome. And the part of the leadership discussion I talked about is your career can be lattice, growing in place, but it should always be growing. Mm-hmm. And so it was such a wonderful opportunity to talk about, hey, we have all of these challenges as women in technology, but we also have all these opportunities if we put ourselves in positions to take advantage of them. Mm-hmm. And so it just so happened that there was a gentleman in the audience that I had known for a long time, Deepak, who's at University of Nebraska, Omaha. And he, after I spoke, he asked me if I would want to come in and be a guest speaker in one of his classes. And of course I leaned into yes. And I went and talked about applied AI, how we use it in a business environment. And for me, I'm very passionate about AI and leveraging it as a tool for efficiency and effectiveness. And through that opportunity, he reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to design a class for UNO? And I said, of course I would. And so it's just those taking advantage of those opportunities that you can network. And in Omaha, we have such a rich tech culture that we have lots of opportunities to do that. Mm-hmm. And so thank you for that opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that I think stands out to me, there are so many good nuggets in there. And shout out to Deepak. He's always such a great advocate for women and just inclusion in tech, which is outstanding and always needed. So that is so great. But one of the things I really love about what you shared is that it's really important for people to lean into those opportunities. So I'll meet a lot of either young women, early career, or folks that are experiencing imposter syndrome. And they will think, well, there's this opportunity that's come up for me to speak or be present even in the audience at a thing, but I don't think I'm qualified to even be there or submit a proposal. And I'm always like, just go for it. And even if you're afraid to go to the event or present at the event, let's start there. Go to it, like the post on LinkedIn, create content on LinkedIn, just engage the audience anyway, because there are so many women and others who feel like maybe I don't belong in those rooms. But the more people we have there, the better off we all are. So thank you for leaning into that. But that's just something I strongly encourage and believe in for sure.
I do too. And I think I read somewhere when a man looks at a position, if he meets 5 of the 10 criteria, he's like, hey, I'm qualified. And if a woman meets 8 out of 10, she's like, I need to go back to school. Mm-hmm. And so I agree. And that's why I love AI so much too, Shonna, is tell your story, speak your story to AI and see what nuggets and themes come out of that. We all have a story to tell. Mm-hmm. We all have a best practice to share. We all have a learning experience that can, elevate or inspire someone. And that leaning into those opportunities, you get better. It's growth. Every time you speak, you're going to learn something and grow from that experience.
I love it. So speaking of applied AI, and now this is putting you on the spot, not a part of what we shared in our email exchange, but I love the thought of asking AI to tell you what your strengths are. So how would you go about that? Let's say we're using free version of ChatGPT. What would be an example of a prompt you would put into ChatGPT on this?
I've done it.
Okay.
And so I love playing around with prompts and giving it personas. And so you can do it as simple as, I've interacted a lot with you. Please share some things I might not know about myself, share some coaching opportunities, share some strengths that you're seeing. And again, you can say, share something that I have as a strength that I could gift to others. And it's amazing the things that you find out, especially when you ask, what's something I might not know about myself? Mm-hmm. And you might give it the persona of a PhD, or you're an author, or you're an editor. Give me that perspective and you get different answers. So it's just playing around with the prompts, and you can even tell it, refine my prompt. Yes.
I love it. This is so good. We can go down an entire rabbit hole on this, which I really love. But let's take this still a little bit further. So I'll also share an example of how I've used it, because I use ChatGPT every day. It's basically my assistant at this point. And I've told people I work with that over time, it's enabled me to become a 1+ employee at this point, because I am just so much more productive. It helps me kind of get the thoughts in my head into a meaningful format, right? So one of the things I love to do, and I would recommend this to folks as well, if you've got a Windows laptop or a desktop or Windows operating system, I don't know how it works on Mac, but Windows has a voice access feature which is awesome. So I've gotten to the point where I don't even type anymore into ChatGPT. It feels such a waste of time. I'm like, let's treat this like a conversation, but we'll ask it questions just like that, or come up with some sort of a brain dump on a topic or idea I have and say, help me make this make sense. What are some key nuggets you can pull from this? And like you said, ask it to refine the output or the response, or I love the refine the prompt idea. Such a good point. I love it.
And I also like to do the stream of consciousness where I'm speaking with it, but I also like it if I'm learning a topic, I might say, hey, I'm a novice, or talk to me like I'm an 8th grader on this specific topic, so that I can learn and grow with it. I also listened to a webcast where a Microsoft executive was doing strategy sessions, talks every morning. And then based on the strategy discussion, it would say, okay, pull the salient themes and put it into a business case. Mm-hmm. And trust me, I use it every day too. It's made me so much more efficient. The other thing I do is I take all of my emails and I will think about the audience I'm sending it to. So we do a lot with DISC. So if I'm sending it to a D person who's really direct, I'll say, please refine this for a D on the DISC personality, bullets, bolds, and make it in my voice. I know a lot of people struggle with it. Sounds like AI.
Yep.
The more it gets to know you, you can tell it to talk in your voice. Mm-hmm. But I also notice, I know you don't like the long dashes.
Yep.
I've started to notice that after you mentioned it. It does have the long dashes. But you can teach it also, say, I don't want the long dashes. I want it to be more conversational. Mm-hmm. But what I found is I can do a business case, a rubric, a graph, a table in seconds.
Yes.
And that used to take me hours. And what I've told my employees is it gets you off the blocks faster.
Yep.
Because it's going to give you ideas. And then I love what you said recently at an AI event. It's composing information, but we refine it, we edit it, and we're putting the perspective around it.
Yep.
And so I don't think it can do it by itself. It needs us to package it.
It really does. And I know we're out of time, but that's okay. Sometimes I always laugh when I say this is called 10-ish sometimes. but one of the things I often tell people who are like really concerned about AI will replace me, I'm like, it replaces things that are repetitive. And one thing that it can definitely get you off of a blank page, but then it takes your expertise to take it to a level where you are making a difference for your organization. Otherwise, it's not truly a value. It's not a real value add in that, I think. What I mean is it gets you off of that blank page. That's key. But your expertise is the difference maker. There we go. That's what I was saying.
It is absolutely, it takes my ideas to get the ball rolling. So it doesn't come up with things out of the air. It takes us to put in the input. It's me only better.
Yep.
And I agree with you. It's not going to, it's certainly going to replace some jobs that are repetitive or don't take a lot of creativity, innovation.
Yep.
But what I think it's going to do is replace people who are not leveraging it as a tool.
There you go.
Right. And with teams with concentrated OpEx and reduced teams, we have to find ways to do things faster and better. And that's what's amazing about it. I'm learning to be a better writer by seeing the output.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Love
So
it.
does your class start this fall?
It does in September.
Okay. And so registration's open. Is it for UNO students only, or can folks from the public take it, or how?
My understanding is anybody can sign up for it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And the course is called?
It's Applied AI.
Okay. Applied AI at UNO.
Yes.
I will find the link and I will put it in the post notes, and that's amazing. So
Wonderful.
yeah, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.